The accusation. De tijd is gekomen om een dader aan te wijzen. Wat is jouw theorie?
Nou, ja, eigenlijk dus
I
geen,
was
maar...
reaching the end of my
Ja, gaat die man
investigation.
praten? Houd toch je bek.
No idea if Catherine could even look me in the eye.
Daar komt Catherine aan.
I'd promised Tony Morgan I'd find his daughter. And I'd betrayed my own.
Wij hebben niet dat kind gevonden.
Perhaps I should have listened
Nee.
to Catherine and left the investigation to the police. Perhaps Tony
Mijn
Morgan
theorie is
didn't
nog steeds dat iedereen er iets mee te maken heeft.
Perhaps I'd failed everyone.
Ja,
Only
ik dacht
time
misschien dat ze
will
gedacht hadden dat ze oma probeerde te flashen, omdat hij natuurlijk een kind kwijtgeraakt is. Dat ze haar daarvoor gebruikt hebben.
Ja.
Catherine, thank you for coming.
Oh, we zitten in de gang. We zitten niet in het huis.
I told you I didn't want to...
I promise I'm not wasting your time.
What do you want?
Please, come inside. I have something you'll want to see.
You'll forgive me if I don't believe you.
Then why did you come?
It's my
Oké.
job to follow up all leads.
Ja, en hij is natuurlijk verdacht.
I'll show you
Yeah.
what I've been working on these past few days.
These past few days you promised me you weren't investigating again.
Maar we hebben gelogen.
Don't you really
Ja.
love me, Dad?
Iedereen is hier.
Wajo.
Here is the man of men.
Thank you all for coming.
Zelfs Mrs.
I
Doe.
imagine you share some
Yeah.
notion of why I asked you here.
Misschien heeft niemand er wel mee te maken.
In short,
Dat de
to
kind gewoon
discuss
weggelopen
the
is.
disappearance of Charlotte May.
Ja, maar die man heeft wel klap
and
zijn kop
also
gaan.
to
I know.
apologize to each and every one of you. I'm sure you know by now that I've been investigating every possible area of her disappearance, and that has meant looking closely at Dahlia View.
Ja.
You mean spying on us?
A crude interpretation.
Ja,
Yes.
but yes.
Illegal. Surely.
I've broken no laws. I can assure you.
Nou,
That we
No.
know of. This is an invasion of privacy.
Dat klopt.
You're a police officer. How can you let him do
It's
this?
not illegal to ask questions, Mrs. McKee.
What about breaking and entering? How'd you feel about that? Hey?
Are you pressing charges, Mr. Levy?
We still need to address the fact that there's an attacker at
Let
large.
Mr. Conway speak. I'd rather like to see where this is
Kijk, die
going.
oma is zo onze enige ally in één keer geworden. Wat is dit?
With your apology out of the way, let's talk about what I've uncovered.
Nou, waar zullen we
Oh.
beginnen?
Nou, bij de McGee's denk ik, want daar zijn we het eerst geweest.
Ja.
Annabelle and Theo. The two of you clearly have problems of your own to work through.
The very nerve of you, Mr. Conway.
And you should have reported that dog that you hit with the car. It would have saved a lot of time, and perhaps we would have found Charlotte May by now. But I have no reason at all to think you could have taken Charlotte May.
I could have told you that if you'd asked.
I have nothing more to
Yeah.
say to the two of you.
Oh, oké. Harold Levy.
Harold Levy.
Dit is ook de volgorde waarin we ze onderzocht hebben.
Ja.
Live with that. You said it yourself. As long as I pay my rent on time, we won't have a problem. In the future, it might do you well to extend that courtesy to neighbors going through certain hardships. But not every problem can be solved with your fists. I believe you owe Mr. Morgan an apology.
What's he talking about?
Yo.
God knows.
Other than that, I found nothing to think you capable of such a terrible act as kidnapping a girl. I have nothing more for you.
Oh, that was a waste
Okay.
of time then.
Lady Doe.
Lady Dahlia, I thank you for permitting me to search your home.
Je
But
oogjes.
on reflection, you really should pay more attention to whom you employ to clean your estate.
Oh.
Hindsight is a blessing.
I don't think you had anything to do with Charlotte May's disappearance. It's a shame that your home was violated in such a way.
Ja.
Again, I extend my apologies that you've been dragged into this.
Water under the bridge, Mr. Conway.
Kijk, wat een aardige
And
vrouw.
finally, we come to Shirley Downs, the second victim of our unknown perpetrator. A completely innocent bystander the night that Charlotte May was taken. The perfect alibi. Were it not all based on lies and deception?
Oeh.
Well,
What? No, you all saw what happened to me.
Shirley, please, let us dispense with the song and dance.
Shirley? What is he talking about?
I have no idea, Annabelle. I can assure you of that. Just what on earth are you getting at, Mr. Conway?
I bloody know it. You've always been a dark horse.
Oh.
Shut up. I had nothing to do with Charlotte May's disappearance, I promise you.
Mr. Conway, I think you might have made a mistake.
Catherine, would you mind?
Please, I think it's time we talk to Miss Downs alone. Could we have the room?
I think I should stay. She's my sister and she needs
Mrs.
my...
McKee, please. Everyone, in
Ooh.
fact. Leave now.
I think it's best you leave too, Mr. Morgan.
Iedereen moet even weg.
Don't worry. I'll update you later on this evening once I know more.
Shirley,
I'll be fine, Annabelle. They're making a huge mistake. Just do as the police officer says.
I'm afraid that means you too, Mr. Levy.
No way. I would have missed this if you paid me.
Get out, you fool.
Oma.
Altijd naar oma luisteren.
This is what you wanted.
Kijk, hij heeft wel respect voor ouderen. Dat kunnen we hem niet ontzeggen.
How very disappointing. Good work, Mr. Conway.
Oma is opvallend rustig. Ik denk dat misschien toch oma wel wat ermee te maken heeft.
Take a seat. Now, where should I begin?
Look, I don't know what this is about, but I think you made a huge mistake. I'm sorry. Catherine, is it? Can you talk some sense into him?
I think we should hear what he has to say.
This is ridiculous.
If you have nothing to hide, then surely you'd relish the chance to prove your innocence.
You watched me get attacked. That proves that the kidnapper is still out there.
Well, let's start there then, shall we?
En we hebben gehoord dat zij een klap heeft gekregen.
Ja. Wat?
Dit hoort bij elkaar. Foto, welke foto?
Foto, ja, dat vroeg ik me ook af.
Dan doen we dat wel eerst.
Ja.
What do you have to say about this?
You've been watching me. Annabelle was right. This is an invasion of privacy.
Well, isn't that what you wanted?
What are you talking
Well,
about?
for someone to see your charade. The whole business with the so-called intruder.
Ah.
You set the whole thing
Yeah.
up.
What a ridiculous thing to say. How could I have? Why would I?
You did it so that Tony Morgan would see you as the victim,
Ah.
and therefore not as his attacker. I saw you too. I'll admit, you were very convincing.
This is all in your mind, Mr. Conway. You have no evidence at all.
Jawel, we hebben de spyglass en die
Zeker.
glass shard.
Let's continue, shall we?
Dan laten
Dan
we
eerst de spyglass,
Ja,
toch?
dat dacht ik ook.
How will you explain this, I wonder?
Perhaps you want to explain how you found that, without breaking the law.
I'm sure it will come to that. But for now, we're talking about you. You have nothing to say? There's no getting around this, Shirley.
Oh. Oh, ze gaat praten.
Listening. It wasn't me.
Glass shard.
Ja.
What's that supposed to be?
Why don't you tell me? It was found in your pub.
So what? Lots of people drink there every day. Glasses smash. I don't know what's special about a piece of glass.
It sounds plausible.
Well, there you have it.
Well, then Mr. Crow didn't seem to think so. He told me you took it from the police evidence room.
Mr. Crow.
Prove it.
I intend to. I'm sure Mr. Crow will be willing to testify. Let's move on.
Oh, hebben we nog meer opties?
Well, I suppose that's that.
No, we zijn... Let's move on.
Catherine,
That's that. Goeie...
Is what you've
oh.
had enough to arrest, Miss Downs?
I'm sorry, it's
Nee, hè?
not conclusive enough, I'm afraid.
Well then, I suppose I was wrong. I should have gone with my gut and accused Annabelle.
What?
Again, I'm sorry I've wasted your time. Catherine, can you see if Annabelle is still close by?
We gaan
Mr.
mind
Conway,
games spelen.
Ja.
We gaan haar zussen
What could you
bijnaaien.
possibly think Annabelle has to do with this?
Well, I shouldn't discuss this with you.
Annabelle heeft een affaire, toch? Met die Mr.
All
Morgan.
those late
Yeah.
nights whilst Thea was gigging, no one able to verify her whereabouts. And then, of course, there's the matter of the, well, like I said, I shouldn't discuss this with you. I apologize.
Hij gaat het zaadje planten.
Let's
Yeah.
see if we have enough to arrest your sister.
Wait.
What is it?
I hid the telescope in my safe, but I was hiding it for someone else.
The truth.
Voor wie dan?
Or this conversation is over.
Okay, I hit Mr. Morgan, but I swear I thought he was someone else.
I'll see what your sister has to say about that.
I'm telling you the truth. Annabelle had nothing to do with it.
Where is Charlotte May?
I didn't take her. That's why I hid the telescope in the first place. So the police wouldn't suspect that I took her.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
I
Nee,
didn't
inderdaad.
take Charlotte May.
So let me get this straight. And it's very important that you're clear.
Maar zij heeft wel toegegeven dat zij die man heeft geslagen.
Ja. Ja, fake detectives.
You faked the attack against you.
Yes. I needed people to know that the kidnapper is still out there. I couldn't come forward and say what I'd done because people would think I took Charlotte May.
Oké. Dan gaan we de rest weer af. Dezelfde volgorde als
denk
net.
ik. Ja.
You
Ja.
attacked Tony Morgan.
I already told you. I thought I was hitting Harold Levy. He
Harold
was
Levy?
kissing my sister Annabelle,
Wat? Harold
Ja.
Levy?
Theo's wife.
Huh?
Oké.
Maar Annabelle heeft toch een affaire met die Mr. Morgan?
Ja, dat dacht ik ook.
Ja, ook met Harold Levy?
Misschien. Ja, misschien wel.
Jezus.
Deze
The
drukke
telescope
vrouw.
is the attack weapon.
I took it from Lady Dowa's hallway. I
Ja.
saw my sister having
Ze
an
neemt wel
affair
vaker
from
dingen
Lord
mee.
Dowa's window. I was angry. I overreacted.
Ja, zo gaat het. Vrouwen.
You took the shard of glass from the police evidence room.
Well, yes, because it proved that I hit Mr. Morgan. But I thought I was hitting Harold Levy.
I don't
Ja,
think
want die
even
lijken zo
you
erg
can
op elkaar.
separate the
Ja,
truth from the
die
lies
is
anymore.
2 koppen groter
I'm
ook.
not lying.
Misschien met die vrouw een
You
bril.
took Charlotte May that night.
I did not.
Then you put her in Lady Dowa's basement. Why?
I'm not saying another word.
You knocked me from my chair and then staged the attack on yourself to throw me off the scent.
That's all in your head.
Where is Charlotte May? Is that enough to arrest Miss Downs?
I believe so, yes.
Oh.
Then I think I've heard just about all I need to. Catherine, may I have a word?
Ja, nee, laat haar daar zitten.
Ja, we gaan de evidence room in.
We gaan even gezellig babbelen terwijl zij daar gewoon zit.
Well,
You've been
looks
busy.
like you were onto something after all.
Yes, it looks that way.
Let's wrap this up then, shall we?
Wait a
Maar
moment.
we weten nog steeds niet waar het kind is.
You see now what I was doing, what I had to do.
I do.
Well, then what's wrong? With a little more time, Shirley will tell us where Charlotte May is. You can arrest her. This is a good thing.
You lied to me. You betrayed my trust after you promised me. I'm so glad that you were right. I really am, but that doesn't change how you did it.
Catherine,
Nee.
we did it.
Ja, wat wil je nou?
You and I. I listened to what you said, and I truly am sorry. There were moments where I knew I was crossing a line, but I did it.
You've told me already.
And I meant it. Please. I'm going to update Mr. Morgan later on and tell him what we found. It would mean a lot to me if you were by my side.
Sowieso.
What do you say?
Ze had trouwens in het vorige shot blond haar en nu donker haar.
I'm sorry.
Voor de
Ja,
timestamps.
inderdaad. Ja.
Miss Downs, I'm arresting you on suspicion of the abduction of Charlotte May Morgan and an attempt to obstruct an active and ongoing police investigation. You don't have to speak, but anything you do say might be used against you in a court of law.
Oké. Maar het enige wat wij nu bewezen hebben is de aanval op Tony Morgan. Volgens mij.
Ja.
De rest is allemaal circumstantie.
We denken dat dat kind in de kelder van oma zat.
Ja.
Maar
Shirley
verder...
has confessed to almost everything I've thrown at her. But she's refused to give me the location of Charlotte May.
Ja.
En ik vind het motief ook nog wel een ding, want waarom dan?
It's out of my hands and up to Catherine now. I've reached the end of my investigation. But
Oké.
at what cost?
Still missing. 6 hours later. Ja.
Dan gaan we er natuurlijk vinden.
I promised Mr. Morgan I'd return this brooch when I found Charlotte May.
Oké, dan gaan we dat maar doen.
Gaan we dat maar doen.
Have to do for now. Now that all's said and done, I suppose I should tidy all this away.
Tidy all this away.
They were all innocent. Everyone apart from Shirley. How did she manage to hide who she really was from everyone? Even her sister.
Even her sister. Ja, inderdaad. Spyglass. Dit zijn gewoon al die bewijsstukken. Daar kunnen we verder niks mee. We moeten gewoon die brooch terug gaan brengen, denk ik. En dan blijkt dat zij gewoon thuis is. En dat Tony Morgan er zelf iets mee te maken heeft. Die liggen op
Ja, man.
I was hoping to return to Mr. Morgan with his daughter. This hollow gesture.
Hollow gesture. Oh eens. Hidden workings of the criminal mind. 2 minuten voor 6. Oh. We kunnen niet meer uit het raam kijken. Dat hebben we genoeg gedaan deze game blijkbaar. Wat? Zeep.
Ik ga het nog even afwassen.
I must ask Catherine if she'll get me some more shopping.
Ration book. Ja, nee, we gaan gewoon naar buiten.
I used to roam these halls and wonder what kind of neighbors lived around me.
Ja, nu weten we het.
Now I know all too well.
Now I know all too well. Nou, hup, gaan. Dan komen we in de gang.
How will Mr. Morgan take the news, I wonder?
Dat weten we niet. Dat weten we niet.
True enough.
Oh.
Wee.
Wee.
No sign of Catherine. She's not coming.
Wat? She's not coming. Is er een reden dat Catherine hier zou moeten zijn?
Toch geen idee. We zijn alleen nog nooit natuurlijk in dit huis geweest.
Dat klopt.
Misschien gaan we hier nog ontdekken waarom ze weg is.
Ah.
Hello, Mr. Conway.
Mr. Morgan, how are you?
Ja, kut.
As well as can be expected, I suppose. I have to say, I wasn't expecting you so soon.
I apologize. I thought you might want an update regarding Shirley Downs.
Of course, yes. Why don't you step inside for a moment?
Step inside.
Ja, lekker man.
Please come in. You can leave your things down there if you like.
Thank you.
Wat? Leave your things. Wat hebben we bij ons dan? Niks. Ja, tas. Place items.
Place items. Oké,
Please.
bijzonder.
You were saying...
Ja, ik
Yes.
vertrouw die man voor gemeten.
In short, it went well.
She confessed.
Not to all of it, but I have reason to believe she's confessing right now in police custody. She confessed to hitting you over the head, to pretending she was attacked. We found the weapon, and, well, the list goes on.
What about my daughter?
She refused to admit it. She was adamant.
But you said she confessed to hitting me.
Well, there's more to the story, I'm afraid. She swears blind that she thought she was hitting Harold Levy.
What? Okay, I don't know what that means.
Nee, inderdaad.
I agree. It doesn't make any sense.
Where is my daughter, Mr. Conway?
Mr. Morgan, I won't stop until I find her.
I'm sorry. That was unfair of me.
I understand, and it's me who has to apologize. I told you I would find your daughter, and until now I've failed you in that matter.
I don't blame you. You've done all you can. I'm sorry. Where are my manners? Please, come and sit through here.
Come and sit through here.
Perhaps you'd like a cup of tea, Mr. Conway.
One sugar.
What?
One sugar, isn't it?
Oh, dat ging snel.
Yes, that's right.
Please, make yourself...
Hoe weet hij dat?
I'll
Dit
be
is
back
bijzonder.
momentarily.
Wij hebben dat 1 keer eerder gezegd in de game. Tegen Annabelle.
Ja,
Hoe weet hij dat? Hoe weet hij dat het one sugar is? Als hij dat niet van Annabelle heeft gehoord.
How long have you lived in Dahlia View? It must have been before I moved.
Nee, stem.
Yes, about 4 years or so. I remember the day you moved here. I should have introduced myself then. I'm sorry about that.
Not to worry. I should have done the same.
Thank you so much. I hope
Kijk
it
eens.
was of some
Kijk
use.
eens.
ja. Wajo, ik heb nog een foto.
What on earth?
Dat is de andere
This
kind.
isn't Charlotte May.
Charlotte May's 6th birthday.
Different girl altogether.
Ja, dat is een ander kind.
Oh,
Charlotte May's brooch.
ik ben in de war.
Dit is weer een ander kind. Hij
ben in de
ontvoert
war.
allemaal kinderen.
Wat
Jesus,
is
what is
dit?
this? Mr. Morgan, what have you done?
Hij is zijn eigen dochter misschien verloren en ontvoert andere kinderen. Om dat niet te vergeten.
I said I hope the
Die
brooch
foto
was
ligt nog
of
op de
some
grond.
use.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, no. I wasn't able to connect it to anything.
Is everything okay, Mr. Conway? You seem a little out of sorts.
Yes, I'm fine. I don't think I'll have that tea after all. I'm sorry to put you out, but I remembered I have to hand over all of my findings to Catherine. She'll probably be waiting for me.
She was 6 when that picture was taken.
Is that so?
Such an innocent age, wouldn't you say?
Creepy.
Ja.
Charlotte wouldn't have known what real danger was back then. Not like you and I.
Well, we all have to grow up at some point.
Hij is zelf een kinderontvoerder.
You'll excuse me, but I really must
Are
be.
you sure you're okay, Mr. Conway? I can't help but feel your discomfort. Is it something I've done?
Like I said, I'm probably keeping Catherine waiting, is all.
Hij heeft het gezien.
Ja.
You know, I thought that I was careful enough.
Hey.
But the way you think... You really are very clever, Mr. Conway.
Gaat hij ons slaan met die bast?
Ik denk het.
To your detriment.
Oh jee.
Klets.
Oh yo.
Klets. Een klap in ons gezicht.
It's funny. I spent the past few days wondering who on earth would attack me. I was as confused as everyone else. Turns out it was all just a misunderstanding. Have you ever heard anything so unlikely? I was going to leave town that night. I'd left her in Doe's basement. Things were almost in place. I was putting the rubbish out, and then... well... And then Shirley Downs.
She's still alive, isn't she?
I really am glad you decided to investigate.
Is dat zo?
The mystery was eating me up inside. You know, I watched you work these past few days. Watched as you pulled our neighbours' lives apart piece by piece.
Waar gaat hij nou
Getting
heen?
to work with you at Shirley's pub and seeing you before that at Lady Doe's house. It was very exciting.
Oké.
Hij heeft
Kan
een
niks, want je zit in je stoel.
wieltje. Ik denk dat hij die regenjas heeft aangetrokken. Denk je niet?
It's funny, I felt that if I could just reach out.
Wat heeft hij nu gepakt?
Of course, I couldn't.
From what I remember, you reached out with your fist.
You almost caught me that night, you know, in Lady Doe's basement.
Hij was het.
You were so close, but still so far. You know, I've never had to go back and check before. But after you promised me you'd find her, I had to think on my feet. She cried when she saw me. I suppose she was seeing me for the first time in many ways.
She? You mean the girl that, some other poor child you've taken?
Ja.
Ja, vraag 1 denk ik is het belangrijkste.
Ja.
Is she still alive? The girl? Why did you do this?
Charlotte May was 6 when she... You see, after so many years, well, they stop looking like children, don't they?
Dear God.
Wat?
Wat?
So she was too old to remind you of the real Charlotte May. And that's why... This really isn't your first time.
The first time I did this, my hands were shaking. I was a mess, Mr. Conway. I'd have been embarrassed. Just to be
Gelukkig
in
is
your
hij nu
presence.
gewoon normaal in orde.
You sound as though she means nothing to you.
She means everything to me.
Waarom heb ik mijn
Have you
muis
lost your mind?
Ik heb geen idee.
I think our little talk is over.
Hij komt zo dichtbij en trek hem als een stropdas, denk ik.
Believe me, I don't want to do this, but you leave me no choice.
I don't think you will kill me. You didn't tie that little girl up for no reason. If you were simply a murderer, you wouldn't have left her alive down there. There has to be something more to you.
What makes you so sure?
I think you wanted to see her as Charlotte May. You wanted to believe it, right up until the end.
Well, you've got it all figured out, haven't you?
Nou, niet echt.
What happened to the real Charlotte May?
You have a daughter, Mr. Conway. You know how it is. It's your responsibility. Your duty to protect them, no matter what.
Tony, what happened?
I must have left the balcony door unlocked.
Dat was de originele
I
ontvoering,
took
denk
my
ik.
eyes off her for just a second.
Mm.
We lived on the 5th floor.
Ja.
Tony, I'm so sorry. Perhaps we should talk about it. You can tell me about her. If you let me go, I'm sure
I don't think so, Mr. Conway. I've complimented you on your intellectual prowess. Please don't insult mine.
Fine. Where is the girl now?
Wat heeft hij? Een
She's
spuit?
bed safe.
Oh jee.
Wat gaan we doen?
De eerste, denk ik.
Where did you take her from? The girl I've been looking for.
St. Mark's Primary. I watched her leaving school. It didn't even have a gate. I'd watched her for a few days as she went to and from the playground. Charlotte used to love to play.
What would the real Charlotte May think of you?
You won't speak her name again.
Do you think she'd be proud of what you've done?
Please. Stop.
What about this girl? Everyone's looking for her. You can't get away with this.
Mr. Conway. You've already arrested Shirley. No one is going to find her. And no one is going to find you. Now, please stop. You're beginning to make me rather uncomfortable.
Jesus. You wouldn't want her to remember you this way.
None of that matters. Now, please, try to keep still.
Please, don't do this. You're a reasonable man, Mr. Morgan. I know you don't want to do this.
Believe me, I've tried to change what I am, but I can't.
Hey, iemand klopt op de deur.
Mr. Morgan,
Catherine.
I would very much like to speak with you.
For God's sake.
Oh. Hij heeft ons geïnjecteerd.
Like father, like daughter. Not a word, Mr. Conway. The anesthesia should kick in shortly.
Oké.
Hello, Mr. Morgan. I'm
Ik
sorry
kan
to
mijn muis
trouble you,
nauwelijks
but
bewegen.
I wondered if I might speak with you and my father.
Komt geen woord uit.
Are you expecting?
Please, don't
I
do
thought he
anything to
might
her.
already be here. He said he was going to talk to you about Shirley Downs. May I come in and talk through our options?
Mr. Morgan, stop.
Komt geen geluid uit.
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
It's him.
Okay,
It's him.
that's fine. I can come back tomorrow.
Please
You know
help
what?
me.
With everything that's going on, I'm not...
I'm back
Yes.
here. Help.
I think that would be a good
Er
idea.
komt geen geluid uit.
Save
Tomorrow
yourself.
morning. Lunchtime, perhaps.
If you think it can wait
Catherine,
until then.
run away.
I'm sorry to bother you so late.
Please, don't apologise. We'll talk tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Wait,
What is it?
if you haven't seen my father, then why is his camera in your house?
Ja, onze spullen
His
liggen daar.
bag. Mr. Morgan?
We gooien die... Kijk. Dit hoort zij. Catherine wordt aangevallen.
Oh.
Gaan, 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 gaan.
Kraken.
Ja, die anesthesia die kikt in, hè. Er zit weinig beweging in.
Oh jee.
Oké. En nu?
Ik heb geen idee.
Wie zou er gewonnen hebben?
Ja.
Klinkt weer een ominous muziekje.
Ja.
Harold Levy, onze rolstoel.
Misschien heeft hij ons gered.
Hij?
Ja.
Dat zou ook bijzonder zijn. Ambulance. We leven.
Ja?
We leven. Ik kan hem niet aanklikken, alleen de wheelchair. Tony Morgan's arrest. Oh,
Wat?
Mr. Levy, wat kun je ons melden?
Do you know where Catherine is?
Hij zit niet in de stad.
Nee.
Daar is Catherine.
Catherine!
Dad,
Nu is ze weer
you
zwart haar.
okay?
I'm fine. Thank God you are.
Nu grijs.
I thought the worst.
I did too. What happened here? I mean, what on earth did I walk into?
If I'm honest, I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Maar
Shirley
hij is
was
misschien ook
telling
de
the truth.
babysteler.
It appears so.
Wat zeg je?
Is hij ook de
We
babysteler?
searched the house.
Nou, dat weten we toch al?
We'd ruled him out.
Nee, die baby aan het begin.
Is he?
Nee, dat was zijn baby.
He's
Dat
alive.
was de originele
He's been
Charlotte
taken
May.
to the station.
Nee, toch?
Jawel.
We want to know if
Want
he's done
die-
this before.
I'm afraid you won't like the answer.
Nee.
Zijn eigen kind is ontvoerd toen ze 6 was.
Could have been you.
En daarom ontvoert hij kinderen van 6 om het idee te hebben dat zij er nog is.
Maar die baby in de eerste scène was toch geen 6?
Listen, I
No, Catherine. I'm sorry.
Nee, ik weet niet.
It's funny, I came back tonight because part of me knew I should have listened to you, but I just wanted to prove to myself that I didn't need any help.
The apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. I need to ask. Did you find Charlotte May? Is she...
Follow me.
We gaan haar ontmoeten.
Oh.
Er zit gewoon een auto. Ja,
Charlotte, this man is Robert Conway.
met een beer. Die beer van Lady Doe.
Days.
Nee, die was zo
Okay,
klein.
my dear. You're safe now. You don't need to be scared anymore. Catherine here is going to take good care of you.
I'll just be a moment. I'll come back. Don't worry.
Waar hebben ze haar dan vandaan dan?
Ik heb geen idee. Ik begrijp het niet meer.
Waarom laat ze de deur open?
She hasn't said a word since we found her. She thought that Tony Morgan was her real father. She didn't even know that...
It doesn't
Of hij heeft baby's ontvoerd.
So,
En ze gehouden
die
tot ze
nou?
6 waren.
Ja.
she doesn't have a home.
Nee, maar hij had haar ontvoerd bij een school, zei hij.
Ja, dat zei hij, ja.
She was taken from a St. Mark's primary school. There can't be too many of those in the country that have had missing girls.
It's a great place to start. I imagine you'll want to come along and help.
No.
We gaan met pensioen, denk ik.
Perhaps it's best to leave this up to the professionals.
I'd like it if you were by my side.
I'd like that too.
Ja joh, eind goed al goed, hè. Kind gevonden, criminelen opgepakt. Sequel bait. Ons raam staat open, dat is niet handig als we weggaan.
Nee.
Kijk, die duiven weer, hè. Die duiven. Toch weer die duiven. Oh, dan is het weer tijd voor de aftiteling, denk ik. Conway, Disappearance at Dahlia View. Het is ons gelukt. Ja, daar staan ze.
Ja.
Daar staan ze.
Oké.
Robert Beard. Robert Conway had een baard. Verbanden. Dus kijken of we weer wat Nederlanders kunnen vinden in deze game. Kijk, acteurs ook nog in order of appearance. Kijk, die hadden we al gezien aan het begin ook, hè?
Dat klopt, ja.
Ja, maar kijk eens. Robert Conway en Harold Levy is dezelfde persoon.
Ja.
Ja. Sarah Hoeksma. Nou, daar gaan we al.
Ja.
Daniel de Kretser.
Goeie naam.
Ja, Jason Mann. Nou, geen twijfel over mogelijk. Hier, Jason Mann doet finance voor 2 bedrijven.
Ja.
Zo. Secret Powers. Zo, ook nog. Secret Powers. Kijk, kunstwerk hebben we ook nog gehad. Mooi man. Ja, het is ons geluk, dames en heren, om de zaak op te lossen.
Ja, wat een plot twist.
Ja, wat een plot twist. Maar ik dacht wel, toen we daar onze spullen moesten neerzetten, toen dacht ik, deze man heeft het gedaan.
Nou, ik dacht toen we naar binnen gingen bij het huis, van dit is het enige huis waar we nog niet rondgekeken hebben.
Ja, dat zei je ook.
Ja.
Ja. We zijn erachter. Het kind is gered. De man is gepakt.
Ja.
Lekker hoor. Lekker. Dit zijn de mensen uit India, denk ik. Marcus Jansen. Localization direct. Dat kan ik niet lezen. Wat zijn dat dan voor talen? Dit is Pools, denk ik. Wel die ski.
Ik denk het.
Ja.
Al die ski.
Aladdin. Hey, Alan Parsons. Die zit ook in Monkey Island, volgens mij.
Nee.
Die heeft wat achtergrondwerk daar gedaan. Ja, Benny Hill, dat is een zanger, hè?
Ja.
Ja. Dit zijn Rob, Piet, wat moeten we daarmee?
Ik heb geen idee.
Ik ook niet. James. Martin. Ik heb geen idee wat dit is. Harry? Hè? Zijn dit mensen uit de game? Of zijn dit mensen die in het team hebben gezeten, die persoonlijk nog mensen bedanken? Is dat het?
Ik denk het.
Ja, Tom, ik sta er gewoon bij. Nou, graag gedaan, Marcus. Graag gedaan. Ja. Kijk of jij ook nog voorbij komt. Denk ik niet.
Dat denk ik niet.
Jekkety Jek, goeie naam. Goeie naam. Jekkety Jek. Lekker man. Nou, relatief korte aftiteling dan toch wel. Thank you for playing.
Ja,
graag gedaan.
Toch nog bedankt.
Graag gedaan.
Ja man.
Nou, ik heb ervan genoten, moet ik zeggen.
Ja, betrekkelijk weinig jumpscares. Verwachtingen waren anders.
Ja, ik ben wel geschrokken toen we uit die rolstoel werden gelopen en even bij die duif in de wc.
Ja, Fluffy.
Ja, Fluffy, die wij zelf Fluffy hebben genoemd.
Ja.
Maar het is ons gelukt. Het is afgelopen, het avontuur.
Ja.
Dus wij gaan jullie weer bedanken voor het deelnemen, meemaken met ons van Conway, Disappearance, a Dahlia, View. En we hopen jullie weer te zien in ons volgende avontuur.
Ja.
Dus ik zou zeggen, een hele fijne dag. En tot de volgende keer.
Groetjes.
Doei doei.